Hi guys, and now I'll be coding in front of you the genetic algorithm. But before we do that, let me just give you a rough idea where we're heading towards or what exactly it's all about. So this is our target sentence, right? And you can see the current generation is 73 and okay, let me just run it for you guys once. Okay, yeah, you see after 37 generations, we get this I love Python, right? And you can see on the above, for the above generations, we were not getting the strings as we would like them to be, right? And this is a list of strings, okay? So eventually we just wanted probably, let's do it once again, probably just add 53 and then let's just run it again and see what I mean. You see, so whatever your target is, as long as your all the characters of your string, they have their place in this pool, you're gonna get this after the magic of genetic algorithm. So basically this is what there is to genetic algorithm. Now we'll be coding these things. Yeah, so let me just delete everything. Okay, and I'm just gonna keep this genes because I wouldn't want to be writing all this stuff down. Okay, so now the first thing is we have to make a class, right? So I'm gonna make a class and I'm gonna call it sentence. Okay, because that's exactly what we need towards the end, right? And then we need our inner function. Yeah, and then we need to put self in it, and we don't know as of now what goes inside, so I'm just gonna say pass. What are the Just pause the video for a moment and just try and think like what other function can you think of which we'll need. Well, we will need a function that's gonna draw characters from this pool. Yeah, so I'm just gonna call it create underscore alpha. Yeah, and then I'm gonna put self in it. I don't know what goes inside it, so I'm just gonna say pass, right? What other function do I need? Well, I need to create the random sentence as well, so I'm gonna say create underscore sentence, and then I'm gonna put self in it, and then I'm just gonna pass because we don't know at this point what's gonna go inside it. What else do we need? We've seen in the theory we also need what you call mating, right? We have to mate them as well, like the top 50 population entries. So I'm just gonna do that. We don't know what goes inside, so I'm just gonna pass it. Yeah, is there any function? Yes, of course we need the fitness as well. Yeah, fitness function, just gonna write self in it, and we don't know what's gonna go inside, so I'm just gonna say pass in it. Yeah, so these are the functions which we require. Now for every object, so you see this is the object, correct? So this is the sentence which we want towards the end, and this is just the sentence, but sentence has also a fitness value attached to it, which is why we would need two attributes, right? So I'm just gonna say self dot sentence, right, is equal to sentence. Yeah, which is gonna come from here. We'll see how. So I'm just gonna write sentence here. Okay, and then I also need self dot fitness. Yeah, so where's fitness gonna come from? Fitness gonna come from this function fitness. Okay, so that's how it's gonna be calculated. So I'm just gonna write fitness and then like that. Yeah, but this is not inside a proper function, it's inside a class, so I need to do self.fitness in order for me to have access to this class. Okay, brilliant. Now these are the two attributes which we'll be needing, right, for every object that we'll be creating. But before we create an object, we would also need to make the sentence, because that's one attribute of that object, right? The object has two attributes, and these are all the functions which you can apply to your object, correct? Okay, now we come to the main loop. So I'm gonna say main, right? There's no self in it. You know why? Because it's not inside the class. So let me just make some room. Okay, so now what do you think is the logical step now? Well, we have to go inside the loop because we don't know how many generations it's going to take, right? So we will go inside the loop, but before that, we need to create our objects. Now, in order to create the object, we also need to have a sentence, which is a part attribute of your object. So how do we do that? So basically what we do, we say for I in range, and for how long, like how many what's your population size, we'll have to define here. Population size, population underscore size equal to, let's say it's 100. Okay, oops, let's say it's 100. And then we also need our target, like the target sentence that we would want as an output. So I'm gonna write I love P capital Python. Sorry, can't type, can I? Anyway, so I love Python is your target sentence. You can put anything. I love Python or CPP or whatever it is. Yeah. So once we have this population size target and you have your genes, right? So now what we need to do is now, because this function here, main function, it's gonna have its own local scope. So in case if you're defining a variable outside the local scope, so you just have to say global, and then I'm gonna say population underscore size, right? So I've made this I've declared this variable to be global so that we can have access inside this local scope of this main function, right? So I'm gonna say for I in range of population underscore size, yeah. So what exactly do we need to know? We need to make sentences, correct? And how exactly do we do that? Well, where is the create sentence? Create sentences here, right? Now you need to understand that we haven't really created any kind of object as yet, because we want to create object, and one attribute of that object is the sentence itself, the other attribute is fitness, right? So I would want to create an sentence using this function, right? But just because we don't really have objects, so I can't really have access to this function. Just fix it in your head that whenever you need to call any function from inside the class, you need to have access to the object, but we don't even have an object. So what's the catch is you will have to declare it as a class method, so it's not tied up to any object, it is just tied up to the class method. Okay, and now the create sentence, how are you gonna be creating sentence for that? Let's just try and fill this up. Okay, so for that I'm just gonna say global, my target, I'm just gonna make it global. Okay, and then for I would also need the length of the target, right? So I'm gonna say probably length of target, yeah, like so. And I'm just gonna say length of target. Okay, so this is the length, and for this length, what I'm gonna be doing, I would want to, I would inside a for loop. So for example, if I say, okay, let's create a list and call it sen is equal to list, right? And inside this list, I'm gonna be create underscore alpha. Don't worry if you don't understand what I'm doing, I'll tell you in a moment. Yeah, alpha, and like so. And then I'm gonna be doing this for I in range, which is your length of the target, like so. Okay, now create alpha. Now you know this is a class method, right? And inside the class method you're already accessing another method, so that needs to be a class method as well. Otherwise you would need what? You would need object to access it, right? So we have made this class method as well, so I'm gonna just pass self to it. You can pass cls, self, whatever you wish to, because it's a class method. So far so good. Yeah, so let's try and run it. Any problem, syntax error? Okay, no worries, don't worry, we'll sort that out. Okay, so because we have called this, right? And we haven't really put anything inside, so this needs to be done. And then you see line number 55, what do we have there? We don't really have anything because I've left this for loop open, so which is why it's giving you that kind of error. So don't worry about this at the moment. Yeah, so we are at this. Okay, so we need to fix this first. And now what I'm gonna do is to create alphabet, I would need to go inside this pool. So I would need access to this. So what I'm gonna do global, I'm gonna do global genes. Okay, so this I'm gonna be making global because this create alpha has its own scope, but I just have to make this available here inside the local scope. So which is what I'm doing global. Right, now how do I choose? Well, I can say alpha is equal to random dot random. Yeah, so this is, but we haven't really imported random yet. So what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna be importing, sorry, import a random, and that's it. Okay, so random model has been imported. So I'm gonna be generating random dot, not random dot random, random dot choice. So it's gonna randomly pick any alphabet from this genes variable. Yeah, and it's gonna return it. And now what do I want? I want to return this alpha, and so every time you're gonna be calling this self.create alpha, it's gonna give you one particular alphabet or digit or what a character you can say, right? So, and for how long is it gonna go on for? It's gonna go on for length of the target. What's the length of the target? Well, you can, it's dynamic, you can keep on changing the length, and it's gonna just like, take the length from there. So this is going to be called, and this is going to return alpha. So every time it's going to be returning alpha, and eventually your sentence will have a list containing all those alphas, right? And now once you have that, and then all you need to do is you just have to return the sen. Okay, so that sen, this return sen, is gonna go into your where. Okay, so for I want my sentences correct, so I'm gonna be saying, okay, make my sentence. Okay, make my sentence. And how do we make our sentences? We just call create underscore sentence. Okay, that's what we do. And do we pass anything to it? No, we don't, because it's not taking any kind of argument. We don't need any kind of argument. We already have your target. We're just gonna take care of it. So okay, that sentence is done. And now once we already have the sentence, so what would we want to do? We would want to make our object, right? And how do we make our object? So I'm gonna say send underscore object. Yeah, send object. Why send object? Because this is gonna be having sentence and the fitness value, which is why I'm just gonna be calling it send object. And now if I'm going for send object, how do I create an object? Well, we would need to know the class of the object, right, which is sentence. So I'm just gonna say sentence here, and then what's the argument that I'm gonna be passing in the init function? I need the sentence itself. And what's the other attribute? Fitness, which we'll be calculating in a while. So sentence, and then we just have to pass in our send here. Okay, so far so good. Okay, what's the problem here? Undefined name create sentence. Why is it undefined name create sentence? Okay, because it is inside the sentence class. So in order to have access to the this, you would need to call this sentence dot create sentence. Yeah, this is not instance method, this is class method, so you do need to use what? The class name. Otherwise you just be using the object name, right? Okay, so far so good. So in case if you just want to run all this, you come out of the for loop, and then if you want to print, yeah, but one thing more which you need to do, I need to define a new population. So I'm just gonna say population. Mind you, over here we just had population size. Where is it? Yeah, population size. But now we need to know, okay, we have 100 entries, but what 100 entries are going to be there. Those are going to be send objects. So let's just try and print the population now. Population. Well, it's just going to be empty still because we haven't really appended anything. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be saying population dot append, and then I'm going to be appending this send object into it. Send underscore obj. Okay, yeah. So let's try and run it, but we can't really run the main loop as of now because we need to do if underscore underscore name underscore underscore equals to main, sorry, main underscore underscore main, and then we say just call main. Okay, let's see what happens now. Print population. Why it's not printing? So we print population, but it won't run unless I say if underscore, sorry, underscore 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 name underscore underscore is equal to underscore underscore main, right? So this is what you need to do, and then you say main, and you call main, and this has to be double. Okay, so you call this, let's see what happens. We print population, let's just print the length of the population, see what happens. Oops, daisy. Oh, okay, here's the problem. What is a type object sentence has no attribute create alpha? Create type object sentence has no attribute 34 create alpha. Okay, no problem. It was a spelling mistake. Okay, let's try and run it again. Choice missing one required positional argument. Random dot choice. Choice missing one. Okay, we have to give genes here. What do we have? Okay, now we have 100, right? But in case if I don't really want to look at the length and I just want to look at the population itself, so what's gonna happen? We will have this. So these are the, can you see this? This is the end of the list, right? And then you have all these objects inside. That's okay, no problem with that. Now we know that we already have the population. Okay, so what's the next step? Well, next step is we define something here. Probably let's define it here. So I'm just gonna say found is equal to false. Okay, and then I need to open a while loop. Why while loop? Because we don't know how many iterations it's gonna take. So I'm gonna say while not found, and then do whatever we have. Okay, just pass it at the moment. Okay, so what goes inside the while loop? Now we know we already have the population, so what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna be saying population is equal to sorted. I'm just gonna be sorting this, and I'm gonna be saying population, right, comma, and then I'll be giving key. Key is gonna be a lambda function. In case you don't know lambda functions, you can just check out one of my videos. I must have discussed it somewhere, or and just check out Corey or Telescope. You know, they're pretty straightforward. So what basically you're doing is, one moment, let me just type and then I'll tell you what we are doing. Okay, so we need to use lambda function. So basically we are saying, okay, we have to sort x dot fitness. So because x is a verb, you can think of it as your object, right? And then your object already has a sentence attribute and it has fitness attribute as well, right? So you would want not this sentence, you don't want sentence to be taken as key when you're ascending or when you're arranging ascending or descending order, but rather you want your fitness, correct? But we haven't really calculated fitness yet, right? If you see, we haven't really calculated fitness. So I'm just going to take this pass away, and then we go on to the fitness function, okay? And then we already have sentence, right? And we have your target. So I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be making my target global in this function. So I'm just going to say target, right? Okay, and then global, we have that. So I'm going to be doing for I, J, N. Let me tell you what I'm doing. Don't worry if you don't really understand what's going on. No worries, I'll tell you in a moment. So you zip it. So zip what? But basically you have to compare two sentences, right? Your target, and whatever the random sentence which you'll be having, you have to compare them simultaneously, character by character, right? So you will have your self-dot sentence which you're going to be making, and then you'll have your target, right? So you have to compare both of these together. And I'm just gonna say, okay, do one thing, let's make another fitness is equal to 0. So this is fitness score, you can say, yeah, or let's not confuse. So you say fitness score is equal to 0, right? And then you apply your logic. You say if I is not equal to j. So basically what you're trying to say is, for example, if you have I love Python, this is your target, and then you have some characters of the same length, and then you have your random sentence, and then you go by one, as I discussed in the theory. And in case if those corresponding characters are matching, then you don't really do anything. In case if they're not matching, then what you do, you increase the fitness score, right? So that's exactly what we're gonna be doing now. Is the fitness underscore s is equal to fitness underscore s plus 1, correct? And after you've done that, you come out of the for loop, right? And then you return the fitness underscore s, like so. So basically you're just returning this value back to where, so you're just punching it inside this thing. Okay, so now your object, you have created the sentences. Where have you created the sentences? You have created sentences here, and then you populated your send object, and then that object had two attributes, self dot sentence and self dot fitness. Self dot fitness is coming from self dot fitness function, and that function is going to be returning you fitness dot s, which is going to be stored into your self dot fitness. So you both things are done now. So what do we do next? Well, once we have done that, that's when we sort it. Now we are capable of sorting this. In case if we just want to see, right, we wouldn't want to go inside the while loop. Okay, one moment. So once you have this, you're sorted, right? And then imagine a scenario when you actually sort it out. And how will you actually check? Well, you will check. You have 100 population size of 100, right? And you would want to, and when you do this, you are arranging in the increasing order of the fitness. So you say if the fit not the if fitness if population dot fitness, so the fitness attribute of the population of the 0th population. So population is of 100, size 100. So you say, because you've already sorted in the increasing order, so you're just going to check for the first entry. That's going to be an object, and then you're looking at the fitness attribute of that object. And if you say if it is equal to 0, yeah, that means that our sentences are matching. We don't do anything. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be putting this found equals to true, right? And then you break out of it. Okay, and in case if that's not true, then you continue doing whatever you have to. Now in case you already have your uh, what would you call it, you already have your fitness you have done. So Now that you already have your uh, population, right? But then in case if you're not stuck in this loop and found is not true, then obviously you have to go on to the other generation. And this reminds me just to put over here, you just put generation is equal to 1. Okay, we are still in the first generation. Okay, and then you say try sorting that generation out and just check, like, if it is true, then you just break out of it. So that's not going to be the case, though. You're not going to be finding the correct solution in the first generation. So you need to do something to your population, the now whatever population you have, right? And then what you do, you basically create new underscore population, right? And then you just set it up to a empty list, okay? And now what you're gonna be doing, you're gonna be picking up the top 10 because you've already sorted them, right? So you're gonna be saying, okay, new underscore population dot extend is a there is a difference between extend and append. Append will append one entry at a time, but extend can, like, you can put in a junk, not junk, chunk, I'm saying. So what you're gonna be doing, you're gonna be picking up population, and then you're gonna be picking first 10 entries. So as you're slicing, you're just gonna be slicing your population list, and you're just gonna be extending in the new population. So your new population has 10 entries here. You wanna check? You might probably wanna check, but then let's just do it, okay? Just for your satisfaction, we say the length of new underscore population, right? Let's just print, okay? So you're just gonna be seeing 10, 10, 10. Or let's also know fitness. Must have done something. Fitness population dot fitness. What happened there? Okay, population 0 dot fitness. That's how you do it, because that's the object. Okay, now won't be a problem. You see 10, 10, 10. Okay, no problem. We just control C, come out of it. Okay, let's just take this away. Now you know that your new population already has 10 entries, correct? So logically, what do you want to do this? Well, we have to populate the other 90 values. So how do we do that? Well, basically we say uh, that for 10 entries we are just going to be keeping those, right? And other 90 entries that we're going to be creating, so I'm going to be saying for I in range uh 10 to 100. This is what we're going to be doing, right? So what do we need? Obviously, because we haven't, if you look up, we now need to, according to our logic or whatever the working is, we have to mate. Okay, so we have to make these objects mate actually. So what we're gonna be doing, we're gonna be saying, okay, we're gonna be making a parent one is equal to, okay, so we're gonna be having parent1. I'm gonna be saying, okay, random dot choice, okay, and from what, I'm just gonna be saying population, right? And then from the first top 50, I'm gonna be doing this, randomly choosing one value from top 50, right? And then I'm gonna be doing parent2 is equal to, that's not really good to look at anyway, random dot choice, and then you're gonna be doing the same thing. You're gonna be saying population and top 50. So just pause the video for a moment and think about what happens to the next 50, like, because we are just, this is starting, this is ending, so you're just saying top 50, you randomly pick one parent, from top 50 you randomly pick other parent. So what happens to the other 50? Just let me know in the comment section what happens to them. Anyway, so we have this, right? And now another question for you guys, just pause the video and think, are these parents, so parent 1 and parent 2, are both of them objects or not? Pause the video and think. Well, those both are objects, okay? So what you can do is, because parent1 dot mate, and then you can mate it with parent2, right? Parent2. But we haven't really defined parent mating function yet. Where is it? Mate, yeah. Have I written mate or mating? Yeah. Okay, looks fine. So we come to the mate, right? And if you see here, this is an object, this is an object, correct? And then if this is an object, you don't really have to have the class method thing, because this is already, you see, mating function. It's not class method, it is object method, instance method, in other words. So we can say parent1 dot mate parent2, right? But now parent2, that's gonna go to the mate function as an argument. So we need to write parent2 here. Yeah, does it make sense? Hopefully it does, right? But then if you really look at it, okay, one moment, let's go and just populate this. uh, so what do we do? uh, we say, one moment. Okay, so what we do, we say for I comma j. You remember the comparison which we did here? That's exactly what we're going to be doing now, right? So for I comma j in zip, right? And then I'm going to be using self dot parent one. So there is one object that is calling, this is the critical part, okay? So this parent one, its memory address is going to, its memory address, parent one's memory address is going to be passed into the self, okay? And then parent 2 is being passed as an argument. So this is one critical thing which you need to know, in case if you don't really understand class and objects fully, but that's something to be taken care of. Okay, so now that's going to be going into the self, but we just need sentence. Okay, we just need sentence attribute. Okay, we don't need fitness here. So I'm going to be doing is self dot sentence, right? And then the second one is parent2 dot sentence. This is what I'm gonna be doing. So we are laying those sentences side by side, so whatever it is, yeah. And then we're gonna be introducing another what do you call it, another variable. So that's gonna be random dot random. What it's gonna do is, basically is gonna give you a kind of uh, any value from 0 to 1, yeah. So this is probability, basically. So what you're gonna be doing, you're gonna be saying, okay, well, I'm gonna check corresponding letters of these two uh, sentences, right? And I'm gonna say, if probability prob is less than, I don't know, just put a random number, 0.46, right? Then you do something. Okay, I'm just gonna say pass, sorry, I'm gonna say pass. And if, or you say elif, probability is less than 0.90, you do something, yeah, pass, we don't know what as yet. Else you say, okay, do pass. Okay, so you're gonna be doing that. So this process is called mating. So what you're gonna be doing, so you're gonna be saying, okay, if probability is, because in, if for every loop this prob variable will have a different number, right? So what you're gonna be doing is, you're gonna be saying, well, check for that number and let me know if that number is below 0.06, in case 0.46, and in case if it is, so what I'm going to be doing is, I'm going to be creating another child here, yeah, child here, and this is going to be an empty list. So I'm going to be doing is, I'm going to be appending my child, yeah, child dot append, and then I'm going to be appending it with I, okay? So whatever is the I in that pair, corresponding pair. Okay, in case if it is less than 90, right, then what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be appending the child with a chromosome of the second parent. Okay, so I'm going to be appending with J. That's what it is. Okay, right? And in case if you have if it is above 90, then what do? We will pick a random thing, okay? And the random thing is gonna come from create alpha. Okay, so what I'm gonna be doing, I'm gonna be appending the child with what is it? Self dot create underscore alpha. I think so. Spelled it correctly. Have I? See, where is it? Yeah, create alpha. Okay, no problem. Let's try and run it till now. Yeah, no problem. So it's fine. Okay, once we have done that, yeah, and then we have to return. So you see, from here we have just got the sentence. We haven't got the object. So I'm gonna be doing. I have to make that as an object. So my class is what is in my class? One moment, I keep forgetting the class name. Sentence only. Right, so I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna be saying, okay, my sentence is my class, and make this child as a uh, as an argument for the init function over here. So again, this is going to be an object. So now again it will have fitness, and then you can calculate the fitness. It will calculate the fitness anyway, and then it's gonna throw back this thing, whatever you're getting from here. Yeah, it's gonna throw back here, wherever you're creating. Okay, and then we're gonna be what we're gonna be doing. uh, I'm gonna be holding this in child variable. Yo, so like so this is being held into child variable. What's happening here? Local and child is assigned to be never used. Anyway, this is inside the local. We have already, so this child is local to the scope of this function, while the other child, which we made in the mating function, as local to this one, is local to this function. Okay, just to give you a little bit of recap. Okay, now we already have our child, and now what we're gonna be doing, now we already have 10 entries. If you remember, we already have 10 entries in the new population. What I'm gonna be doing now is I'm gonna be saying, okay, let's not waste any space. So we say new underscore population, right, dot append, and then I'm gonna put child in it. Yeah, simple. So we will do this for 90 iterations. That's why new population also gonna be, well, it's gonna be of the length 100 again. Okay, so far so good. You come out, and now you have your new population, but you need to repeat this process. Correct? You need to keep repeating this process. And how exactly do you do that? Well, you just say population is equal to new underscore population, right? And sorry, spelling mistake, population. Okay, and then obviously because you are inside, you here you define that this is generation number one, then you're inside the while loop. So for as long as while loop is going to be running, you're going to be increasing the generation. So you're just going to be saying generation is equal to generation plus one. Okay, so now you're just going to be uh, increasing the generation. I know this video is getting long, and I'm also getting tired of speaking, but I think it's almost done now, so no problem. Just take this pass away, right? And then if we want to check the final thing, what we need to do, we would need to say, okay, before we break away, we will want to say population and then 0, right? And then I would want my sentence attribute to be printed. That is the attribute, correct? Yes, this is the attribute which I need to be printed. So I'm just gonna say print, oops, print, right? And then like so, print needs to be kept small print. Yeah, so in case if we are doing that, so let's just run it and then see in case if there is any problem. What happened here? Okay, so before breaking, So it's nowhere near to what we expect. So one moment, let's double check what we did. Okay, mate. Yeah, that's okay. When you call in fitness, oops. Ah, this needs to be here. Because if you are stuck inside the for loop, so every it's just gonna be making zero, right? So it's never gonna give you good fitness score, like the true fitness score. So let's try and run it now. So you see, ILOVEPY. Okay, I love Python. Let's do one thing. I'll probably just put some random thing. Okay, let's just put random. Okay, no, not random. Let's just put desync lab is good. Yeah, let's try and run this. See, so this is how you work out with your genetic algorithm. I hope you learned some of the bits, and in case if you're not getting fully really like what's happening, you just need to spend some time on it, and obviously your logic building will increase, and also your understanding towards the class and objects. Unless you do projects, you're never gonna get like no matter how much theory you know, but once you actually have to get your hands dirty. And trust me, it might be very frustrating and confusing in the beginning, but once you really start getting hold of it, you will enjoy it, and that's exactly what everybody else is doing. So good luck with your thing, and just keep repeating. And unless you can just write this code down by yourself, there's no way like you will really understand what's going on. Anyway, that's pretty much about the genetic algorithm. We'll see what we do in the next one. Take care, guys. Good luck.